Okay, at first I would like to show the outline of my today's defense of presentation. At first I have added here introduction, and in introduction part I have just bring background of the study, problem statement, objective of the study, and research question. And then I have added literature review part, and here I will highly focus on research gap. Then chapter 3 research methodology part, here I have added some elements. The very first one is research method, by which I have conducted the research, population, sample size, sampling method, data type and instrument, data analysis procedure, ethical consideration, and limitation of the study. Then I have added chapter 4, that is data analysis, and here I will analyze qualitative data from the questionnaire and quantitative data from the questionnaire and qualitative data from the teachers and students interview. In chapter 5, I have shown discussion findings on research question 1, 2, 3. That means my research contains 3 research questions, and then chapter 6 recommendation. And at the last part of my presentation, you will find question association. Okay, let's it's time to say the background of the study. I previously mentioned that my research study is English speaking anxiety among the private university students in Bangladesh. What is the reason why the students of university level, the students feel anxiety when they speak in English? Okay, as you know, English ranks third in the native speakers. That means 380 million people, and the English, the language, is the official language of 58 countries, and it is very crucial for the education, medicine, tourism, and international communication. And which is the English is the global language of lingua franca. And we find that huge number of students, even in the university level, face difficulties in the portion of speaking. That means speaking, they feel anxiety in speaking portion. And Stephen Krashen suggests that speaking can trigger high anxiety. That means for the purpose of speaking, when you like to speak, it leads us high anxiety, and it happens when students are expected to perform beyond their actual competence. Now, problem statement. Actually, what are the problems? Why I would like to do this research in this field, that means English speaking anxiety among the private university students in Bangladesh. As you know, in Bangladesh, English is considered as one of the most prestigious languages, and in university level, most of the documents are delivered in English language. Despite having English taught 12 years in our academic section, that means in school and college, but the fact is, most of the students are facing difficulties to communicate in English in day-to-day life, even in the classroom, and they feel anxiety when they are asking to say something before the classroom or even in the seminar or presentation, etc. Here, the problems. What will we face if we contain poor speaking quality in English? The fact is, we will face many academic difficulties, like we will not, or the learners will not engage in the classroom activities, or cannot give attention in their academic study, and as well as the consequence of lower CGPA. which will have great hinders for their professional sector. Then objective of the study and research question. Here, the objective of my study is to find out what are the factors of what are the reasons of speaking anxiety faced by the private university students in Bangladesh. And another objective is to explore the ways to mitigate or ways to reduce. I would like to discuss about speaking, because my title is Speaking Anxiety, English Speaking Anxiety. So we have to know what is speaking. Speaking is an interactive process of constructing meaning, which involves producing and receiving and processing information. And anxiety is an emotional state gathered by feeling of tension, worry, thoughts, and physical changes. And it may be vibrate our body, sweating, and so on. So, English speaking anxiety refers to the fear, apprehension, or to be worried encountered by individuals, especially when they are need to speak in various contexts or situations in their real life. Okay. Now, message of English proficiency for Bangladeshi individuals. Actually, in one word, in one sentence, I would like to say, in every sector, for higher education, for tourism, for diplomacy, even the highest prestigious job of business career, foreign affairs, the vibe also conducted in English. So we can say that it is mandatory for us to be proficient in English. Now, factors associated with speaking anxiety, which factors are highly affect in our speaking. Here I have classified it into 3 groups. The very first one is social factors, then educational factors, and the last one is psychological factor. In social factor, we find that influence of societal expectation and cultural norms of language confidence, and social status, which is highly related to our speaking level. Then educational factors, which also impact our speaking, because if the educational sector is speaking friendly, then the students will be able to speak in fluently or develop their speaking quality. If the students did not or do not get proper space to practice their speaking, they will, and sometimes teacher may be the cause of speaking anxiety, because as you know, some of the teachers, if we feel that, well, this teacher, that means, okay, sometimes teacher also maybe cause the speaking anxiety. Then last one is psychological factor, which is related to our psychological aspect, because if we believe that we can do, and we can do. Sometimes students or learners feel that they are inferior to others, and they feel psychologically inferior to others, so they also face speaking anxiety. Then research here. Okay, what actually I would like to feed up. In this factor, English speaking anxiety among the private university students in Bangladesh, in this title, there are several number of researches already have been conducted, but my research is trying to find some gaps, and the very first factor is deal with private university students and especially focus on the students of English department, because as a researcher I am also the students of English department, and it uses mixed methods where qualitative data, I find qualitative data from the questionnaire, and quantitative data from the questionnaire and qualitative data from the interviews, and interviews were conducted from teachers and also students, and it aims to provide strategies to reduce anxiety and improve speaking skills. So there are also several number of researches already have been conducted in this field, but I hope that my study will enrich this field furthermore. Research method. Here I have used mixed method to find the benefit, both qualitative and quantitative method. Population. As you know, the population is an entire group of individuals, objects, or items that share one or more characteristics form which can be collected and analyzed, And the population of this study are all students of private university who are enrolled in 2024. And as we find in Wikipedia 2024, that there are approximately 4 lakh students enrolled in private university, and the number of private university 140 private universities. And from this huge population, my accessible population is 4,500 students who are in various departments: CSE, Tripoli, Math, Economics, English and Islamic studies. But my study focuses mostly on the students of English department. But I have collected data from various departments, but mostly from the students of English department. Then sample size. Sample size of this study is 354 students, which I have calculated by using Qualtrics sample size calculator. Here I have ensured 95% confidence level and 5% margin error. And in this study, the participants were 350 students and 10 experienced English teachers. Sampling method. To conduct this study, I used non-probability sampling method and confidence non-probability confidence sampling method. And I also like to discuss on non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling is the sampling method where every number of population doesn't have the equal chance of being selected. And I have chosen confidence sampling because in a limited time I can collect more and more data within a short time. Then data type. To conduct this data, I have collected primary data. Then instrument. I use questionnaire and interview to collect my data. And in questionnaire there were 10 close-ended questions, and interview were conducted 30. I tried to hide their information so that the participant may not face any problem in future, and limitations of the study. Actually, though the title of my research is English Speaking Anxiety among the private university students in Bangladesh, I have combined the whole private universities, but I have collected data from only 5 private universities. If I could collect data from more than universities, it may be 10, 15 or 20. I hope that the result may be more accurate. Okay. And data analysis part, I have added qualitative data from the questionnaire. In questionnaire there were 10 close-ended questions. The very first question is, what is your opinion regarding English as a language? We have found that 48% participants select that they think that English is difficult. So their perception or their concept that English language is difficult, and it also a great hinder to get fluency or learn English language. And 21% think that very difficult or think that very difficult, and their opinion is very difficult. So it can be said that most of the students think that English language is very difficult, and it found that this concept is highly affected to get their proficiency. Then the next question is, what is your opinion regarding your English speaking ability? That means what they actually think. The options were not confident at all, very confident, confident, neutral. Here we find 63% of the students not confident at all. It's also a great fact for not being a proficient English speaker. I would like to say more than that because 63% have that it is enough. Then the question is, in which portion do you think you are the weakest? And most of the students, or the huge portion of the students, indicates they are weak or they are the most weak in speaking portion, which indicates 50% of the participants feel that speaking. And then the part is listening, 43%. In question number 4, do you feel that your speaking level is poor than your classmate? It is a psychological phenomenon, and we find that 41% students think that, yes, they think that their speaking level is poor than their classmates, which lead to them inferior to others and highly affect to be a proficient speaker or engage in the classroom activities. Because classroom activities is a great source to be proficient in speaking. Then, do you feel anxiety when you speak in English? If yes, why? 91% of the students replied or report that they feel anxiety. And why? From that portion, 31% students replied or attributing that for fear of making mistakes and lack of confidence. And in this question, those students indicates that they don't feel anxiety. I have taken interview from them to measure their speaking level. Now, in question number 6, why do you feel mostly nervous when you speak in English? The sectors. I added here 6 sectors and reports. I have given in questionnaire this sequence, and 85% students report here. Here indicates 4, that means speech in seminar, which indicates formal teaching. Then 3, debate. It also indicates informal teaching. 2, presentation, also indicates formal teaching. That means we can say that students feel the most anxiety when it is the formal situation. Then, is a family environment conducive to developing your English speaking ability? It is a great fact because our family environment, our surroundings are not friendly. Most of the case, we are facing difficulties, and here I also find the 63% of the students said that or reported that their family environment is not supportive at all, and 24% students reported that slightly supported their family environment to develop their speaking ability. Then the question is, was it school and college environment English speaking friendly? 61% of the students reported that their school and college environment were not friendly to develop their speaking ability, which also a great effect in university level because their background is highly poor. Okay, then 36% slightly agree and 3% reported that they are fully agree. Question number 9. How much do you agree with this statement? I believe my English speaking anxiety affects my academic performance. And we find that 94% students feel that or believe that or experience that their speaking ability affects their academic performance. And it may cause academic engagement, classroom activities they try to avoid, and consequently they currently very poor CGPA. Question 10. Have you sought help from others' institutions to improve your English speaking ability? 94% students reported that they sought external help. It may be coaching, it may be special course, but yet their speaking quality is very poor. Now, in questionnaire, the question number 6 asked, do you feel English speaking anxiety? Do you feel anxiety when speaking English? Those students said that no, I have taken interview to them and the students number were 30. For the analyzing procedure or for the convenience of my analyzing, the students are categorized into 3 groups, and the very first group is highly fluent and articulate, second moderate fluent and clear, basic fluency and language skills, the third number. The first question was, please introduce yourself and tell me a bit about your background. I have asked this question to know or to measure their speaking quality, and they replied very smartly by using advanced vocabulary and complex sentence, and they could communicate or express their ideas very clearly. The second category, moderate fluent and clear, displayed clear moderate fluency of speech with solid vocabulary, though they were not able to show the master level of fluency. And basic fluency and language use, they use basic language and basic words and simple sentences, straightforward answer, but they were enough fluent. And question number 2, how did you develop fluency and confidence in English speaking? I've asked them, how did they develop fluency and confidence in English speaking? The category 1, high fluency and articulate, they say that through regular conversation, advanced course and public speaking, and they also say that by reading extensive and engaging with English language media. By using this, they develop their English proficiency. Moderate, fluent and clear, they develop their fluency through conversation, exchange and group classes. They also develop their fluency by watching shows and reading despite a non-English environment. It is a fact, though they are in non-English environment, but they could attain their fluency. References. Then question and answer session. Now, if you have any kinds of query, you can ask me. I will try my level best to explain.
Sir, do you have any question?
No, I don't have. I have some observations. I am afraid that may affect his grade.
question from my side is, why did you choose anxiety as your research topic? Speaking anxiety. Why not like vocabulary problems or grammatical problems?
In my
Why
honor,
do you think that anxiety affects students speaking English fluently?
yes, because in my honors and master's journey, I have found most of the students feel anxious when they are in front of their classroom and deliver their presentation. They are sweating, they are vibrating, and if they can escape from their flow, I think that they can get alive.
Okay, my question, my point is that anxiety can come from lack of vocabulary. My vocabulary is poor, so I am anxious to speak English. Or I think that I'm poor, I'm not good at grammar. So I will feel anxious to speak English in front of others. Or lack of confidence. This can increase anxiety. Did you find such? I think that you didn't work on this point. Why anxiety comes in a university student's self in speaking English? What is the cause of that anxiety?
Because I have here added some factors. Fear of making mistakes, lack of confidence,
Okay.
and here I have also delivered that they are poor in vocabulary or in situation.
And second is your sampling method is non-probability convenience, but non-probability convenience sampling is too limited to give you research result as general for the all students.
Yes. And
So how will you defend it?
here,
Because
first of all,
non-probability means you have already selected
selected.
a group of population. You didn't give the equal opportunity.
Because I think that first of all, I will not get data from all of the students, and then I think that some special students I do need, and I highly focus on the students of English department, which I have previously said, and that is why I have used confidence sampling and non-probability sampling. If I use probability sampling, then the students of economics, CSC 3 will have the equal chance of being selected, and that is why.
My third question is you have taken interviews from those students who answered no in a number 6 question, but you didn't show any percentage. You categorized them in 3 sections, but you didn't show any percentage. Among the 30s, how many are in the first category, second category, and the third category? You just mentioned that these 30 students are categorized into 3 sections: highly fluent, intermediate fluent, and moderate